Hello and welcome to World War II, the Asian Front. This is part two of the battles of World War II. So on our first video, we focused on Europe. And remember, Europe, your main combatants there are your Axis, which is Germany and Italy in Europe, fighting Great Britain, the US on the Western Front, Russia on the Eastern Front, and then you're going to have Japan, you're going to have France also on the Western Front at some point, because remember, they surrender and then they will eventually re-enter the war. Then on the Asian front, you have Japan versus primarily the US and also China. So when we look at the Asian front, the war in Asia, remember, began 1931 with the Japanese invasion of Manchuria. Now, when you have, what you end up having is the U.S. gets involved in the Asian War December 7th, 1941, and you do need to know that date. But why? In October 1940, the U.S. is reading the Japanese secret code. It's called Magic. In Europe, remember, the British are reading the German code with the Enigma. In the Asian front, it's Magic, with the U.S. reading the Japanese secret code. The U.S. are helping the Chinese against Japan. So remember, they are allied. And by 1940, remember, you read about they control Japan, as you can see from this map, is controlling, they're controlling French Indochina, they're controlling Hong Kong, they are controlling the Philippines. You can see the numerous places. This is where Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos are going to follow them. And as a result, Japan is taking advantage of the fact that the French and the British do not have, and the Dutch do not, and any of the European powers fighting Hitler do not have the strength to protect their colonies. The U.S. is going to place an embargo on oil. That means we will not sell oil to Japan. That embargo is what's going to promote the Japanese to see us as a real threat. And one of the reasons they will go and try and take out Pearl Harbor. Their idea is that they had to sink the aircraft carriers and sink the aircraft carriers at Pearl Harbor. And their whole idea was to also block the channel so that the U.S. Navy would be ineffective. It would take so long to repair. That did not happen. Japan will spread to the Wake Islands and Guam. They will take the Philippines. MacArthur, you have to know, is the general for the Asian front. You have to know MacArthur for the Asian front, and you need to know Eisenhower and Patton are on the European front. But MacArthur is in charge of the U.S. forces in Asia. And in 1942, we know that more colonies are falling to Japan. So the big change in Asia is the Battle of Midway. Because of the U.S. reading the Japanese code, they know where the Navy is. They know where the Japanese Navy is. In 1942, the U.S. launches a surprise attack on the Japanese Navy. That attack, the Battle of Midway, is so important, major turning point, because at this point you have destroyed Japanese naval power. They will not be able to launch a major naval attack, and since it's an island nation, that is very important. MacArthur and the allies in Asia are going to develop a strategy called island hopping. And you can see there's a ton of islands, but instead of trying to take each island, under island hopping, what you are doing is you are taking only those islands that you need to launch an attack against Japan. So you pick the most important islands. Instead of fighting for every piece of territory, you look for the most important. By 1944, the Japanese are in complete retreat, and we've seen that in the video in class. Their navy is destroyed. The U.S. is taking the island of Iwo Jima, And by 1945, the U.S. is only 350 miles from Japan. We will talk more about the Japanese surrender, which happens after 2 atomic bombs, the first at Hiroshima and the second at Nagasaki. But this event in between is another reason the Japanese surrender. Not only the 2 atomic bombs, but the Soviet Union entering. They are now going to have to face another enemy, and they will surrender unconditionally.